Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Welcome to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast with James Wilson and Rob Eickhoff.
Semi-seconds in automatic minutes, finishing to diminish the position that was given risen.
And we're back.
We are back.
Once again. So,
Episode 36.
36. So, yeah, we had to tear ourselves away from Maximum Overdrive to get this one started.
It's a classic movie, man.
It is. It was funny. I came home after training. I sat down on the couch and I was like, all right, what's on? Just catch something real quick. And I saw that. And I stopped because, one, it's a classic, man. It's a fucking great movie. But it made me think about our discussion about artificial intelligence. And you're like, do you think we're going to have to fight the machines and blah, blah, blah? And like, man, that was one of the first movies that I remember where...
I'm sure there had to be one before our time.
Yeah.
But like in our generation.
In our generation, man, like Stephen King and the whole, like, man, passing through the tail of Halley's Comet. Nobody knows what's going to happen with all the electronics. Could go haywire. Who knows? It was an interesting premise, but... Yeah.
That was one of the first
fighting
movies
the
I remember.
machines, man.
Fighting the machines.
So I was thinking, I was like, man, if those machines, that self-driving car went crazy, we have to fight it. So we got a bunch of fucking trucks circling the Dixie Boy truck stop.
That movie's so bad.
Dude, we were breaking it down. I know the military vehicle shows up and it's got the machine gun on it, and we're trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. Why is the machine gun firing? Like, there's nothing electronic there. Like, how's that doing? How's that working? So anyway,
there was a lot of holes in that movie.
You just gotta stretch your imagination.
Yeah.
Dude, Halley's Comet.
Give him some artistic freedom there.
For sure.
Artistic license. There was a lot of things happening in that movie. Like, there's no electronic controls. How's the machine controlling that?
Dude, I guess Halley's Comet's tail is powerful.
Very powerful.
Very powerful thing. So I remember as a kid there was a whole line of toys. It was like something along those lines. I was like, yeah, there's Halley's Comet's tail makes the machines come alive or whatever. It's probably fully ripping off. Like, as a kid, I didn't realize they were probably fully just ripping off the Maximum Overdrive movie.
I don't remember that.
No? Yeah. I was a toy connoisseur. I'd go to the mall and go look in the toy stores. I miss that, man. You do the good old mall, go to arcades. I gotta admit,
they still have arcades, don't they?
Not really, no. I mean, they're few and far between.
Oh, yeah, man. There was one in the mall. God, what was the name of it? There was Aladdin's Castles.
Aladdin's
Castle. That was a chain.
Remember that one?
But that wasn't the one we went to all the time, man. I wish I could remember what the fucking name of it. It'll come to me. It was in the Genesee Valley Mall back in good old Flint, Michigan. There was an arcade, dude. That was fun.
Yeah, dude. Arcades were great. I tried to explain to my little girl, because it was a really interesting moment in time, because you couldn't go play home video games were all right. It was like Atari 2600 and ColecoVision.
That was about it.
That was it. It wasn't until Nintendo came out where you were like, whoa, I can play a real approximation of these video games at home. So for a short period of time, like, you had to go to the arcade.
That's where all the latest and greatest games were. That, and I remember playing them at the bowling alley too.
Bowling alley
would always have a little bank of games over by the pool tables.
Yes, yeah. I remember that. Fucking playing Pac-Man.
Street Fighter.
And Defender. Street Fighter.
When Street Fighter came out in the arcade,
yeah.
That was one of the first fighter games I remember in the arcade.
Double Dragon.
Fuck yeah, Double Dragon was dope.
That was fucking awesome.
But then shortly after that, I don't remember playing that in the arcade too much. I remember playing that on the Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's where, we're pretty close in age, but I think that's where, 3 years in the evolution of video games. That's a lifetime, man. That's a long time.
You were born in what, 76?
Yeah, at the end of 75. So basically, yeah.
I was born in 79.
Yeah, so a little over 3 years. So yeah, so for me, that's the difference. I remember playing Double Dragon in the arcade and at home, obviously. But
I remember playing that one at home more than I do.
I remember figuring out the hack that had the little elbow. You could do the little throw your elbow on the arcade one, and it was an invincible move. It was. You could get your whole way through a quarter or two if you got it right, and you could just take out everybody.
It's funny. A lot of those games had those little glitches.
Yeah.
You can remember there was the basketball game on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Where you could just shoot 3-pointers from the corner and you would make them every time.
There was little it was little spots on the floor and they were visible and it was supposed to be like where the nails were or whatever, or that, you know, and if you took off, dude, and your shadow is on that thing, you knew it. You'd make it every time.
Boom.
Every time. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, a lot of those little video games had that.
Had little glitches in there.
Yeah, and you always hated your friend who figured it out. I mean, was there ever a better glitch than fucking Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl? I mean, that was ridiculous. That was the only reason to play that game. So
that was a badass game.
It was a badass game. I love all those old games. So, anyways,
a little trip down memory lane.
There we go, man. So, yeah, had another good day of training today. It was,
I'm a little tired, a little beat up.
Yeah,
got some good hard training in last night. I think I trained Tuesday morning before work. Then we had Wednesday off because the 4th, so we trained on Wednesday. We trained hard on Wednesday. Thursday took off. I was at work, and then got to train last night. Training again today, and they've all just been getting some hard rounds. Man, I've just been getting as many hard rounds as possible. Fucking redlining. It's kind of catching up with me today, man.
Yeah, it'll catch up eventually.
I think after this podcast, I'll be going home taking a nap.
Yeah. Need your sleep. It's important shit. So, yeah, it's good. It's funny. Kevin started asking us, what we were doing well and what we didn't do so well.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up, man. Like he did that to me last night. That was the first time I remember him asking me that. Like after training, we're sitting there, and he asked, "Hey, what do you think you did good tonight in training, or what went well for you in training?
Yeah.
And then what went bad?" Man, that's for me. Like, dude, I think that's fucking awesome. Like from a coaching standpoint, asking your students what they did or didn't do well. But from a learning standpoint, like going in with that frame of mind of, okay, what am I going to, like, when you're training, like if you did something well, you'll kind of like throw a little flag, remember it, or something didn't work, you'll remember it.
Yeah.
And if you know that your coach might ask you that at the end of practice, you might be more likely to think about those things as you're training.
Yeah.
I think that's good, man. Really good.
I think it's good too. Yeah, it kind of ties something I'd learned through the program I was in for my business. Something they taught us. They call it the 3 Ps, and it's progress, problems, and priorities. And so they were talking about using it for your business. But as soon as you started asking those questions, like, oh, this is just the 3 Ps. Like, this is a good way to end. You have your notebook. It's a good note to take is, okay, what progress did I make? What did I do good? What problems did I keep running into? And then what's going to be my priority based on that, moving forward, for drilling and also just what you're thinking about when you're rolling. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, the problems I had last night, I felt like I did a better job today with them because we were talking about them last night and I was like articulating like, yeah, this is what I felt like I was doing wrong. So, yeah, it's good. I think it's a good element.
Yeah, it makes those problems, like, puts them in, like, the forefront of your mind, so the next time you train, you remember those. And then maybe you subconsciously figured out a solution, or maybe you actually sat down with your coach and went over a solution, like, oh, you had that problem? Well, here's maybe a fix. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fuck yeah, dude. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good, too, for from coaching standpoint, because again, like the tough thing with being a coach, and tough thing with being a human period, is you think that people see the world the way that you do. And so it kind of goes back to that Jordan Peterson thing of like, the choices you make, they're not just choices, they are a reflection of how you see the world, right? So like, we don't look at things the same way and then I make choice A and you make choice B. It's like we literally see those choices in a different way based on that. And so the curse of knowledge, I guess, is what you'd call, like when you get to a certain point and it's like, you know what to look for and you know what to see. And sometimes the idea is like figuring out, it's not telling someone a different move to do, it's telling them to look at the situation differently. And then the moves become more self-apparent, but until someone looks at the situation differently, the moves won't make won't make sense. And man, in my mind, like nothing like jiu-jitsu is such a hyper compressed testament to that, because you get it all the time. There's aha moments, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that was the fight. I was looking at this all wrong, or whatever it is, and but that's what it is. It's getting it, being able to focus in on those things, and trying to improve on them and stuff. So yeah, it really helps from everybody's standpoint, because once you understand how people are looking at the situation, it's easier to be like, oh, all right, well now, see, that's where you're fucking up, because you're looking at it wrong. Here's how you need to look at it, and here's how the solution will make more sense, kind of thing. So it's really good. I'm kind of curious. I want to ask him where he got it from, or if he, just decided to start doing it on his own. But
dude, no, it was really good. Like, he surprised me, asking me that question last night, dude, and that was like, I really dig that. And just to build on like the example you just gave, and being that we all see shit different. Like, he asked, like, he was beating me in this. He was creating a scramble and beat me in a scramble, and he noticed I wasn't scrambling much. I was like, he was fucking jumping around like he was on coke. And I was just like, okay, if he wants to run around like a spider monkey, I'm just going to keep all my limbs in, and I'm just going to chill. Like, I'm going to let him fucking dance around. Because in the way I worded it, he asked me why I was like not being lazy, but like not moving a whole lot. I was like, well, in a scramble, there's a chance of me making a mistake and you capitalize on it. So if I don't scramble when you want to scramble, I'm not making a mistake. If I just keep all my limbs in and just fucking, I'm defense 100% and let you bounce around like a maniac, I'll let you bounce around. And he's like, all right. He's like, I see why you say that. He's like, but try looking at it this way. Like, instead of you worried about me finding an opportunity on you in a scramble, you look for the opportunity in the scramble. Just change the way you're wanting to view the scramble. Yeah. I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. And so... yeah. But they're the same thing, like you said. Just change the way you're looking at the same problem, exact same scenario. Nothing's different. Just change your perspective of it.
Yeah, so much of life is like that.
There's so much of life.
It's like, man, it's not figuring out better choices. It's figuring out a better way of looking at things, and then the better choices become self-apparent. And yeah, that's jiu-jitsu, man. It's like, once you figure out, like, oh, I'm looking at this all wrong. So then you figure out what to do. But anyways, it's a good thing to write down.
And we've said it so many times before, but so many of like life's lessons are just compressed down, hyper compressed. I think like you just said is a great way to put it. Because not only is it compressed down into 5-minute matches or 10-minute matches, or maybe that whole hour-long training session you're on the mat, you encounter so much shit you would encounter in the real world or real life that may take a week or a month to play out, but they're played out in that hour-long training session. Yeah. Because you slap hands, you roll, you get frustrated, you get happy, you get beat, you win, blah, 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 blah. And then that match is over, and then you're on to the next problem, the next opponent. And it's a whole fucking other problem. Yeah. It's like a whole other area of your life. You're going from problems at home to now problems at work, or whatever the case is. It's all just smushed down into that training session.
Yeah. It's like you're saying, some of those scenarios can take days, weeks, months, years to play out. But in jiu-jitsu, you get a chance all the time. So you get to see, and you get to get some faith in the process. Like, you just know, they're like, okay, if I'm a good problem solver, I put in the work, blah, blah, blah. It's like, things will get better. And so, when you're dealing with a tough time at work or in your life, and you know, like, all right, I've seen it work in jiu-jitsu. I've seen it work at other points. Like, I know the process will work, so I can have more faith in the process and not panic. It just gives you a little more peace of mind. So anyway, I think that's why it's good for people to do it, man. I don't know what you do without jiu-jitsu.
I don't, because I've done a lot of other difficult shit. Like CrossFit. CrossFit kind of can teach you some of those lessons, but it's still not the same, dude.
It's not the same.
It's
you
not
don't have the same longevity.
It's not the same.
And you don't have the same learning curve. Like CrossFit's one of those things that when you first get into it, you're gonna have a 2 to 3 year period where you're gonna see pretty rapid progress, just because you've never done it before. You're gonna get better at it, but you reach a point where, unlike jiu-jitsu, where, man, you can train for 10, 20 years and do it smart and continue to progress and continue to get better and improve. But, man, I mean, like even Steve Maxwell touched on this. Like after a couple years of training, you're really not making massive gains. Not naturally.
No, not naturally.
Right? Yeah, allegedly. But that's just it. So at that point, now you're just really maintaining what you've built. And from a physical capacity standpoint, like that's just how the human body works. But from the mental standpoint, like that's the thing that makes jiu-jitsu so great. Like, yeah, size and strength matter. Like anyone who doesn't think that they do needs to, wrestle with fucking some of the big dudes at our gym. And it's like, no, it matters, man.
Just go wrestle with somebody 30 pounds heavier than you.
Yeah,
tell
man. Give them a little technique or just whatever. And it's like, yeah, no.
Even if they don't have any technique, someone who's athletic and who's got 30 pounds on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got your fucking work cut out for you, man.
Yeah. But the mental side of it, the problem solving side of it, like that's the thing that I love. Like that's what made me kind of bored with mountain biking eventually. It was like the problems were so finite, and at a certain point the physical costs were just so high to try to either with training or pushing myself with doing bigger stuff, where the physical consequences were just getting harder and harder, and again, like unsustainable over the long term. But then you get into jiu-jitsu and it's like, dude, every time you solve a problem, there's a new problem.
There's a new problem.
And then you solve that problem and there's a new problem. And it's just so much fun, I don't know, I was talking shit to Kevin today. He was fucking whooping my ass. He loves to like take whatever I'm doing well and just like use it against me. And I'm just like laughing at him. I'm like, bring it, motherfucker. I don't care. I was like, on a long enough timeline, I'm gonna get you. And I just have that foolish belief that I will.
Did he try to smash you in side control today after my comment?
He was I think he was trying. I was really conscious of not like getting pinned too bad of it. Like you said, I've got my rigor mortis guard dialed in. So I'll tell you, like I don't know. It's a bad habit, but I'm kind of hyper aware of it. I don't know why, and I'm not saying I can't get like caught and just pinned, but like there's a few things that are like really like red light moments where like I start to sense danger, and I'll do something stupid if I have to get out of there, because I realize that if I don't, I'm in real big trouble. And man, getting pinned with my shoulders flat on the mat and my diaphragm getting crushed. Like I told you last week, like when you that weird roll we did where you ended up in mount, and that's where I was. It was like shoulders pinned. I couldn't turn. You had my hips, controlled, and you had your legs wrapped around my diaphragm, and you still had your feet together and you were squeezing. It's like, dude, that's tough. Like I said, like I had to do a check. Like I'm like, I can't tap to pressure. This is terrible. But that's what it is. Like same thing from side control. Like you let someone pin your shoulders, pin your hips, and they've got pressure on your diaphragm, and they can just apply it.
It's terrible,
dude. It's just a matter. Yeah. It's a pain compliance, and then how long is the round still on?
I'll pass out. I'll fucking pass out.
So yeah, like what? But so I really, and again, man. As I'm saying this, I can see Kevin taking this as a challenge.
Oh, that's what I said it before.
Oh, I know.
Before you guys wrestled.
I just want to point out that you're actually the one who's vocalized that I will not tap to side control pressure.
I'm sure you've heard.
Not me.
I'm sure you've said it. I'm not making it
in
up.
my mind.
Maybe I'm reading it from the subcontext.
You know,
I believe you said
hate-
to me that Kevin cannot tap you from side control pressure.
I have
I am
never
almost
said
certain
that.
you have said that.
I've never said that. I don't like to tempt the universe, man. I've been around the block enough times to know that as soon as I verbalize a fucking challenge to the universe, like,
It's coming.
it's just, why did I do that? So, you know, I think in my mind that I'm the kind of guy who would not tap to side control or mount pressure, but I don't know. I'm not going to say that it can't happen. And it's one of those things that if you really like, how do I put this? Because if you say that you're not, and you know that you're not, and then you run across that dude who can make you do it, and you do it, well, then all of a sudden you're like
Hate
mentally
yourself.
fucked. You're like, oh, what else would I think about myself that isn't true? So I really, it's like the whole philosophy thing. Like, what do we know to be true? Man, I really try to tread a pretty decent path with the statements I make about what I know to be true. And I'm not going to say that I would never tap to side control pressure as a truism, but I'm going to try my fucking hardest to not do it. And part of that is getting like you saying, like,
Stay up on your side.
Yeah,
basically.
get to my side.
Get to your side.
And something I've realized from the beginning is it's and I get myself in trouble with it a lot for sure, especially against like you and Kevin. But if I get my shoulders turned, you can't put the pressure, and so I can still breathe. And a lot of times the fight, it's getting that elbow across their center line. And it's got to get across like their belly button and their center line. And so if I can turn my shoulders but keep some sort of frame on the far side hip, then it's not, completely disastrous. But then the arm gets pushed across, and then I'm in my good old S-mount, got a little ankle trap, just sitting there like, God damn it, this is my home. This is that's what I was telling Kevin. I get frustrated when I find myself in that position, and because I'm just like, 9/10 of the reason that I'm here is because, yeah, like you said, there's positions you feel really comfortable defending in, and so a defense is not advancing a position to that point, but that's when I get frustrated. And a lot of that, like he was asking me last night, like, oh, what my problems like turning into side control pressure. But it's an interesting thing because it's one of these things I fuck up early, and so like you guys will get a wedge in, and then it's hard to turn back in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn back in, but it's hard. And so it's that early commitment to, like he was saying with Bruno when he was, here, he's like, man, just stay on your side. Stay on your side. It's that early commitment to staying on the side and not letting those shoulders get flattened out that I got to make. But so I felt like I did a better job today of trying to move. And if I was turning away, like trying to use it to create some space to turn back in and not just, turn away and then sit there and camp out and, just get ready to defend the bow and arrow. 'Cause
the bow and arrow, the armbar.
Yeah, that's my, I'm kind of like, that's my James Perez move right there. Like how he baits the triangle, the passer guard.
It is.
I bait the fucking bow and arrow to just get out.
Take the pressure.
Yeah, take the pressure and start to get out of the position because, yeah, people aren't like super, super, super tight with their chokes, man. I can shimmy out. That's my one claim to fame.
I didn't think about that. That is exactly like Tofu does with it. He baits. He's so good at triangle defense, and he doesn't have much of a neck that he will just bait the triangle from any fucking position.
Yeah,
because he knows he can defend it and then just get out.
And then gets out. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's me with the bow and arrow, man.
That is you with the turning away, stuffing the foot into like your little like quarter guard, half guard.
Yep.
Defending the bow and arrow.
Waiting for someone to go for that bow and arrow and tucking my ear into the hole, popping my head out, coming up on top.
Yeah.
Or just defending the arm bar. So
it's funny.
anyway, Against most people, it works. You know what I mean? That's my problem. Against mere mortals, it works. Against black belts, I fucking pay a fucking price for that strategy, and that's where I've got to. That's why another good thing about our gym, man. Like, all right, you learn quickly what's really working, because there's shit that works on people at your level or below that you don't realize is just because, we were talking about it earlier too. There's just a certain level of strength that comes with it. And it's just from the reps. Your body just gets so conditioned at doing the movements that there's just a level of strength that it develops. And man, me trying to pull a move on you or Kevin, it's a totally different story than someone who has less than a decade of experience doing this, because, man, your guys' is just positional strength and specific strength is so much higher than anyone else's. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've gone for something and just been like, well, this just ain't fucking working right at all on this guy, because I can't get the position. I can't force it like I can on someone else. And so, but that's great, because it really shows me, like, okay, you're relying a little bit too much on strength. You need to figure out a different answer to it. So, but yeah, it's that happens all the time.
That's funny.
I'll get something going so good against everyone else, and then I'll wrestle you two. God damn it!
Hear the tires screeching.
Yeah, it's like, that did not work. Like, I did not account for that level of strength to be able to just kind of like break that grip or shut that down, or whoops, I can't upset their base. Like, they're glued to the floor. Like, this isn't the same thing. So, but yeah, it forces you to develop it too.
Yep.
And but it's part of the game.
That segues into something I wanted to talk about. Did you listen to the Jordan Peterson interview on
kind of in the middle of it? Where
Did you get to the part to where they were talking about the difference in like losing a fight as opposed to losing a basketball game?
I haven't, but I've heard them discuss it before.
I think they probably have. Joe put it as, like losing a fight, and he was more focused on like the external shit, like what the fans are gonna think and what the general public is gonna think if you take an ass whooping.
Yeah.
So he's talking from like a professional fighter standpoint. But it made me think, and I wanted to hear what you had to say on, because I've been competitive in jiu-jitsu for a lot of fucking years. I've done a lot of different sports in my life. And there is something significantly different about winning a match than there is about winning a ski race or winning a basketball game or a soccer game or whatever the sport may be. Like, there is something fucking way different. And, the only thing I could come up with is just that, like, in a jiu-jitsu match, like, it's the primalness, I guess, for lack of a better word. Just being that it's so primal and that you're... I mean, we take emotion out of it, but there's still emotion in it.
You can't help
it.
Yeah.
Like, and whether you let it control you or not, it's still there. Even if you don't really recognize it. If you've been doing it long enough and you can shut that shit down and you're just doing jiu-jitsu... Even in practice, when you get your fucking ass whooped in practice, like if you get your ass whooped in a basketball practice, dude, it's like you don't think about it. I guess, at least I don't remember.
Yeah.
Man, like you get fucking mollywopped at jiu-jitsu class, like that shit, like you catch me in a knee bar like that. Like if you catch me in a knee bar on a Sunday, I got all fucking week to fucking think about that shit. Like, man, I can't fucking get that knee bar back until I see James again, probably on Friday. Like, god damn it, like that fucking shit will eat at me all week. But if we were out playing basketball and you fucking hit a jump shot over me, like I'd be like, I don't know, I wouldn't even remember it. So I don't know. What do you think? Like,
man, that's interesting. I think there's two things at play there. I think that one, there's no denying that fighting, it's a primal thing. It's in our genes. Gotta forget who. Oh, he's talking the Faraz Sahabi interview, and he was talking about, like, dude, you're here. Every one of us here is only here because our ancestors proved that they could fucking fight. That's it. So it's in every one of our genes. Fighting, running, throwing. Like, there are things that are just like soaked, they're baked into who we are, and whether people want to admit it or not, or like that lady who's like, I just don't see the need to have to communicate through violence that I stayed with. And it's like, man, you're missing the point. One is that like it's baked into us. You're denying part of who you are by saying that. Like, denying that it's there doesn't mean that it's not there. It's still fucking there. You're just in denial about it. But so there's definitely something with that, because I've run track, and I can think of like one or two instances where where I'm coming down the straightaway and it's like me and the dude, and there's something primal with that, because it's you and him. At that point, it becomes heart. I think that's the tough thing in a lot of sports, is like, when does it become me and you, and just who wants that fucking bone more?
I was thinking about that, almost that exact scenario. I knew you ran track, and I was gonna ask, because I could see that playing out. I didn't run track. I'm so fucking slow. Maybe I should have ran track, but like if you're in a dead sprint, like the end of a 400 sprint, and I mean, that is a little bit primal. Like, you're just you and maybe a few other guys that like close, and you are just gutting it out. You are, and whoever can embrace the suck more, whoever's willing to suffer, more and not back off that throttle. Maybe is that what?
Like, there's something primal in running, because again, like it becomes me and you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference between running and track. Like, running is just, I go out and I run, it's me against the clock, blah, blah, blah. No. Track is like, no, you and me, we're going to line up next to each other and see that spot down there. We're going to see who fucking gets there first. And so there's strategy. There's so much more involved in track than there is in just running. And like with track, again, like running is this primal thing, like that we have baked into our DNA. I mean, we're literally born to run. Like, that book pointed out, we have a lot of things that make us extremely unique in the animal world when it comes to running and our ability for it. Same thing with throwing. And so I have this, I may have mentioned before, this whole thing about authentic movement challenges versus made up gym bullshit. So I think that running, if you can't run, like, you need to run. Running, if you can't run, I'll guarantee you that you probably have knee problems, low back problems, hip problems. Like, there's things that hurt and aren't working right, and you're like, oh, this is why I can't run. It's like, did those happen and you can't run, or did you not maintain your ability to run, and then these problems start to crop up because your body's starting to become dysfunctional? And when you start running, they can clear up. Same thing with throwing, and same thing with fucking grappling. I'm convinced that grappling is one of the best authentic movement challenges that people can take on, because, dude, just the body transformations that I've seen. I mean, you've been in the fitness world a long time, just yourself as an enthusiast, and been in gyms, and I've never seen anything like jiu-jitsu when it comes to making, like, whoa, that is a really noticeable change in a not long amount of time, change in someone's physique. I mean, would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, people can go to the gym and fucking do whatever they want, but dude, there's something about the jiu-jitsu and grappling that just, it's something with your body. It goes, because the thing that you got to remember is, from an evolutionary standpoint, expending energy is not what your body wants to do, because energy is costly. It's tough to replace, and it costs energy to change, right? So that's why it's hard to get your body to change. So if you're fat and inflexible and weak, and you're trying to get your body to change, that's why it's so hard, because it doesn't want to change. You have to present it with an authentic challenge where it goes, oh, fuck, like, I need to change. Grappling presents it with that kind of challenge. Like, all of a sudden the brain's like, oh, I recognize this. I should be able to do this, and I can't. And it's going to be more willing to mobilize energy to change than it is if you're just going to the gym, or, even like a sport like basketball, or, like, I think this is why, like, playing a sport, kind of getting back to what you were talking about, like, there is a difference between grappling and playing basketball or football or soccer, or kind of some of these other made up sports. Again, I kind of exclude track because it's kind of just, dude, you're just running. It's a pure expression, just like grappling. There's no human there's not a whole lot of rules involved, right? There's no implements involved. And so, anyways, I think there's something there. But with all that said, I'll flip that around and I'll say, man, I'll bet there's a cultural thing with it too. Man, if you're some inner city kid and basketball is who you are, like who you are is part of who you are, is how you play it on pickup basketball and your reputation, or you think you have a chance to maybe get the fuck out of that situation through basketball or football or something else like that. It's a different thing, you know what I mean? Like, you and I didn't come up in that kind of situation. That's not the reality that we had, so we never looked at those games that way. But man, I'll bet that there's, in certain situations, like, there's people who can, I don't think it reaches the same level, but I'll bet it gets a lot closer to that primal feeling of winning and losing based on their just kind of cultural perspective on that sport.
Yeah, I would...
Like soccer. Who the fuck cares about soccer? But half the world right now is like losing their minds over the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like, you and I would lose a game and we don't give a fuck. I forget, like, some goalie got shot, you know what I mean? Like, years and years and years ago in Colombia or something. I'm probably like, that's not it. But like, that's the level that these people take their love of a game that most Americans are like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know?
And I guess, I didn't really think about that, but I agree with you that, like, say you identified with, let's just say, basketball, because that's the only, you know, as a kid, I played a lot of it, so I got, like, some experience with it. You do take those losses pretty seriously, and they stick with you. You know, you missed a jump shot. Like, it was up to you to make that last shot, and you missed the free throw, you lost the fucking game, or you would have made it, you would have won. Like, I mean, those things would eat at you. And if that's your fucking sport, I can see that, like, you taking that as seriously as, like, I'm talking about losing a jiu-jitsu match. With the caveat, if you've never experienced a fight or a jiu-jitsu match or a boxing match, that is going to be, you know, super important to you. But once you like, say you play basketball and, like, having a shitty practice ate at you for a couple days, and, you know, that was your identity, but then you got into wrestling, you would realize, and I'm not just, maybe I'm a little biased, but I don't think so. I think, like, that primal, like then you take up wrestling and you still love wrestling and basketball. Like, those losses in wrestling, I still think, from a primal standpoint, are gonna fucking eat at you more.
For sure.
But if you don't have that contrast, like, if you are identifying, like, if that is your fucking sport, if you are a tennis player, or you're a soccer player, and that is your sport, you live and die by that sport.
Yeah,
it's gonna eat at you until you experience the other high. I think because the highs and lows of a combat sport maybe is where are so much higher.
I think, again, to quote Fight Club, when you fight, the volume on everything else gets turned way down.
Yep.
There's no denying that. I don't think that there is. I think that speaks back to that primal thing. It puts a lot of other things in perspective. You realize, like, none of this is, like, actual fighting for my life.
No.
You know, and even though that we're, like, pretend trying to kill each other, there's still, like, it's tough to get it out of your mind. Like, I do. Like, when I'm about to fucking go out, like, I think, like, you know, motherfucker, like, this guy would be able to fucking kill me and rape my wife if this was real life. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, I will, you know. So there's something to that. I agree with that. But I guess the thing, you know, somebody like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, like, man, I can see those dudes, they're just so fucking obsessed. You know, again, I don't think that sport, I don't think that sport will ever reach the level, because, again, I ran track, and my first jiu-jitsu match, you know, was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done, like, for sure. And I played basketball, I played football, I played all the sports, so, you know, track was definitely the thing I did the most of, but, so I know what it's like to step on the field of competition. I know what it's like to line up and okay, the pressure's on, and you gotta performing. Everybody's watching right now. But dude, that was nothing like that first jiu-jitsu match. There's definitely something really primal to like, you're looking over and you see the dude and you're like, you're waiting for that next match, the match going to end, and you're like, all right, man, we're about to go, and I don't really know you, and you don't know me, and you go out on the mat, we slap hands, and then it's, there's no running, there's nowhere to hide in that situation, because even with track, there's a bunch of other dudes on the track running, you don't really feel good, you can, I pulled a hammy, or something like that. There's places to hide, in every other sport. But dude, not on the mat, not in a combat sport, because you've got the element of the other person who's in your space and he's pressing the action. He's forcing the action on you. As opposed to like every other sport out there, there's a little bit of an element of like you get to choose a little bit of, even in like, football, it's like, some players were famous for like, taking a play off every now and then. It's like, motherfucker, you can't take 30 seconds off in a round. It's like, I need to catch my breath. It's like, no, you gotta work your ass off to get to a point to where you can catch your breath if you fucked up bad enough to be in that position. And now you gotta like defend yourself intelligently so you don't let things get worse. And then you gotta work your way out. It's like, yeah, it's a totally different thing. So I think I see it both ways. I don't think that any sport ever reaches that combat sport as far as the primal feeling for it. I think track probably comes the closest. But I think that from a cultural standpoint, I think that there's definitely people who take sports, I don't want to say too seriously. You know what I mean? Because like, when you fight, you realize like, it's just a fucking soccer game, man. Yeah. It's not that big a deal.
When to touch on, that quote, once you fight, everything else in your life, the volume knob gets turned down a little bit. I saw a perfect example of that at work the other day. There's times I'll get, frustrated or a little worked up at work, but I can back it off pretty quick. Like I can realize that I'm doing that, and it's like, okay, fuck it, whatever. I can just do my shit, and I can, like, it rolls off my shoulders pretty good. But I seen some dude out on the loading dock, like, pissed off, fucking throwing shit around, just like, nothing like real bad was happening, just he was a little under pressure and something tipped over, and it wasn't a big deal. It was not a big deal at all, just a little extra physical labor on his part.
Yeah.
And just fucking lost his shit, was throwing shit all over. And I just sat there and watched for a while. I was like, that dude ain't never wrestled, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's never fought, he's never wrestled. Like, because he just would have been, if you had the volume knob on what he was about to have to deal with, would have just been like, he could have just chuckled about it, but like, god damn it.
Yeah.
And now I got to do a little extra work. But it was funny. I saw it, and I just saw it, and I watched for about 5 seconds. This dude throwing a tantrum, grown ass man, throwing a tantrum over some ridiculous shit, and I just walked away laughing to myself, like, I was like, dude, he's taking this way too serious, man.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Way too serious.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You think everything's supposed to go smooth for you. So people don't deal with disappointment well.
No.
It's a struggle. So at all times, man. At all times.
At all fucking times.
So anyways, all right. So what so I got something for you.
All right. Oh, is this the one? The anticipation.
The anticipation, yes.
All right.
So, set this up a little bit. So you didn't make it to our team 4th of July barbecue.
Oh, so it was labeled as a team event now. I didn't realize it was a team barbecue.
What else was it?
I don't know, just a fucking 4th of July barbecue.
Well, we posted it in the Ninjas.
I'm not on Facebook.
It was Angela. And it was all for just Grand Valley.
I'm not on
people.
Facebook. I didn't realize it was a team get together.
Oh, would that have mattered?
Might have.
Okay.
If it would have been labeled as a team get together, it was just to me Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
This is hilarious though. All right. So okay. Z called you out.
All right.
So every night, Kelly and Z, as part of their routine, just say their prayers and say something that they're grateful for. And so Z said he was grateful for all the people that were at jiu-jitsu and at the barbecue. And he said, except for Coach Angela and Rue, because they weren't at jiu-jitsu, because they didn't come to the open mat. And he said, and except for Coach Rob, he didn't make it to the barbecue. I don't know why he didn't make it to the barbecue. And he thinks about it, and she said that he goes, I know why. He was afraid there was going to be a lot of sugar there. And he wasn't going to be able to control himself around the sugar.
Z said this?
And so he decided to just not go. Yes. Dude, this was his assessment of the situation.
Dude, that is fucking awesome.
I heard that and I go, huh. I will bet
there could be something.
There's probably some
there probably could be like, like
going
I could
on there.
Hearing that, I can't say. I mean, no, I didn't ever say to myself like, no, there's a lot of sugar there and I can't control myself. But I can't say that probably didn't have a bearing on some of my decision making. I can't argue that.
No, that was so funny when I heard it. I was like, huh.
That kid's too fucking smart for his own game.
Dude, that was hilarious, man.
Funny,
he nailed it. I was like, oh my God. That is, again, not like 100%, but I was like, that is so funny that he would pick up on that. So, anyway.
Fucking smart.
It is pretty smart, man.
Yeah, that might have changed. If I would have thought about it as like a team event, I probably would have been more than likely to go. A couple things, man. Like, I'm not a big fucking 4th of July person. This may just be making excuses, but like back when I was 15 years old, I blew my face up with a Drano bomb.
Oh, yeah?
I was making Drano bombs.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one we made of the day was, we used, I won't give kids ain't listening to this, but whatever. So to make a Drano bomb, all you do, you can just take a 20-ounce plastic bottle. You put you fill up like the bottom third of it with liquid Drano, and you take some balls of aluminum foil. You put them in there, put the top on, put it out in the sun, heat, and the chemical reaction, it blows up. You usually have a few minutes. So you can blow up mailboxes or fucking whatever you want, like. Not that I ever did that, but anyways. So we were making fucking. This is it didn't happen right on the 4th of July, but I'll tell you why I connect it. We were making Drano bombs this whole one day, me and my buddy, and the last one of the day we took a 20-ouncer and we filled it half with liquid Drano, half with powder Drano, and we left just a little room in the top for the aluminum foil. Well, we were like, we'll just make a really big fucking bomb. We figured we'd still have time. So we did that. We put the concoction there. I dropped the foil in. I was holding on to the bottle. And as I was screwing the lid on, I felt it starting to expand. Like it was starting to go. And I went to fucking ditch it. And I couldn't ditch it in time. And it blew up in my face. Burnt my fucking eyeballs. Like they told me like I was never going to see again. I was blind for a few weeks. And then I got vision back in one of my eyes after like 3 or 4 weeks. Then I finally got vision back in my other eye after another few weeks. Thankfully, to this day I can see. But so to this day, dude, like I don't fuck with bottle rockets, sparklers. I don't like fireworks. I don't go to fucking fireworks fucking displays.
I don't blame you, man.
I don't fucking like them, man. I don't fuck with any of them, dude. If I see anybody lighting fireworks off, I get the fucking side. Like I don't like it. Because still to this day, man, no exaggeration, man, about once a month, I'll have a nightmare of about that bomb going off in my hand. And I wake up, and like it'll pop me up out of bed. I'll wake up in like a cold sweat, and I'm so accustomed to it now I can just fall back asleep. But dude, that was when I was 15. I'm fucking almost 40 years old now. That's 25 years ago. Still, dude, I have dreams fucking at least once a month, man, that happens. So fuck the 4th of July. I'm not a big fan of it. That's one of my reasons, man. Like I'm just not a big fucking 4th of July get together. Because if someone's gonna start shooting off fireworks and shit, like man, you're not fucking qualified to be doing that. You don't know what the fuck you're buying. You don't know what you're doing. Something's gonna catch on fire. I almost went blind. Nope, it's not my shindig, man.
I hear ya.
So that's one of my main
That's understandable.
Not a big fan of it, man.
That's
Maybe
fine.
It's just an excuse.
Yeah,
but.
That's all right.
Sugar could have played a role in that too. Z's not too far off.
We missed Connor in his epic performance.
What do you do?
So he shows up, and of course he's being a vegetarian. Kevin starts to crack on him with like, "Oh, what are you doing here? We got a bunch of meat and stuff." And he says, "We got cupcakes and beer." And so he grabbed him a cupcake and beer and had one of each, and then fell asleep in the chair and woke up, had another cupcake and beer, and fell asleep again.
That was his routine?
That was his routine. He did that like 2 or 3 times.
That's fucking hilarious.
You know, he'd interact with people a little bit here and there, but he was mainly just cupcakes and beer and then passing out. He'd tap out to the cupcakes and beer. And then he was done and just, left. Got up and walked off. So.
Yeah, he does. I haven't talked to him a lot about it, but from my understanding, he's a vegetarian because of the moral reasons.
Right.
He doesn't like the treatment of animals being mistreated. Totally understandable. So he's not doing it for the
health reasons.
It ain't for the health reasons.
I realized when I was like, because remember he showed up at Angela's birthday, he did the same thing. He ate one of all the varieties of cupcakes. There was 4 types of cupcakes there, so he ate one of each. And said his stomach hurt.
And then went home.
And then he went home.
That's fucking classic, dude.
So I was like, yeah, you're not being a vegetarian for like strictly.
It's not for
health reasons, but yeah, no, he said it's the moral thing. So yeah,
seems like he could just buy free range meat and squash that, the moral dilemma.
Yeah, there's ways around it for sure. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I think it's really interesting because again, like Joe's talked about it a bunch, and as far as like there is a footprint for vegetarians as well.
Fuck yeah, dude! Life eats life.
Yeah.
Like you being a vegetarian, you are still just as responsible for the death of a lot of shit, dude.
Dies to get you your vegetables.
A lot of shit dies, like just from even the combines going to the fields and just mauling shit up, whatever's in the fucking way.
Yep.
To the amount of earth it takes, so all the wildlife that's displaced from it, dude,
that was remember the old book Secret of Nim?
No,
you don't remember that one? It was a movie. Anyways, but that was like, I won't go into it, but that was, you just say that, but it's funny, but that was like one of the premises of that book was like there was this mouse family, and every spring, all the animals had to prepare for the combine, the tilling of the fields and all this stuff, and like, like you just knew, it was funny from the animal's perspective that like, you could fucking die. Like this is, so yeah, there is, it is not a bloodless route.
No.
For
you
to feed yourself.
You're not gonna fucking eat anything.
No.
You're not gonna sustain yourself without.
Unless you're growing your own vegetables, but even then, it's like God, just if you have any sort of pesticides or anything, right? So now you're saying that bugs aren't as valuable as a bunny rabbit. So now you're creating moral hierarchies. And create.
It's a squirrely thing, man.
It is.
It really is.
It really is. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
But more power to people, like Connor that do that, and I can understand that, man. But I don't know. There's some people that can thrive on that. Again, like we've talked about before, nutrition is so individual.
Yeah.
So there's some people that can really thrive on that. I think most people can't.
No, I don't think so.
Like you're missing a lot of fucking nutrients.
Yeah.
And if it's a moral thing, man, like just eat free range shit. Go to a local farmer. Like, for example, man, I'm super stoked about this.
That's right. You got a new adventure coming up.
I got a new adventure coming up. I'm going to be a dad.
That's right.
Kind of. Me and our buddy Nate are buying a cow. We're going to buy a calf. A buddy of his just bought 10 acres not too far from here. So we're going to raise our calf on his property, and then we're going to fucking shoot it, butcher it, and get all the meat from it.
Yeah.
And I get to be a part of the whole process, man. Nate's done that before. He grew up doing that, so he knows how to do it all. So, yeah, I mean, we're doing the whole fucking thing. We're buying a calf. It's going to be fucking free range, grass-fed, just chilling, living. And he said it'd take about a year to get to the size we want, and then we're going to go out there, shoot it in the head. I'm gonna be the one to shoot it, and then we're fucking going to butcher it. Dude, I'm stoked, man. Like I've never been, I've never hunted, so I've never harvested my own meat. I've eaten plenty of game meat, and I've bought half a cows or half a pig.
Right, yeah.
But to actually buy the calf,
grow a cow,
kill that fucking thing, and eat it. Like I've never been part of that process, man. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked.
That'll be interesting. You can do it for. You can be my proxy in the adventure. So
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to shoot it. I asked Nate if I could. He's like, yeah, you can be the one to shoot it. I don't know, man. It's gonna be kind of fucking bizarre. I talk a big game now, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah, if I had to kill something like that, I think I would probably go like the Native American route, where it's like I don't know, you're doing it from a real place of gratefulness for the animal sacrifice.
Fuck yeah, he's sacrificing his life
Yeah.
to feed you, man.
And you thank him for it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like I think that
I agree. I've thought about it already. Like I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not taking it lightly.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
just walking up and
No,
walking
it's not
off.
like that. It's
Yeah.
not. No, it's not like that at all. Like it's. Yeah, you can't. You're taking something's life, man. Like you can't take that lightly.
No,
No,
and
it-
it's making a sacrifice for you, and I think that if you acknowledge that, then it makes could make the process easier, but yeah,
It's still gonna be a heavy process. Man.
yeah, it is, but yeah, it's funny how we instill, because we've both been fishing,
Yeah.
killed fucking fish,
I've killed fish.
no problem,
No.
but there's a reason that I get like fish for snaky, but like I don't know, like a mouse or something like that. Like you told me about that story about your buddy that had the boa constrictor and it was eating rabbits.
Yeah, big rabbits.
Big
dude,
rabbits.
Big fuzzy cute rabbits.
Yeah.
And this thing is just squeezing them, and that rabbit's squealing like.
Yeah, so it's interesting how we have these. You do like say what you will. Like is a bunny worth more than a bug? My gut instinct, yeah. Like I'd be way more likely to step on a bug than I would be to just fucking kill a bunny. But by the same token, I try to value the bug's life. Like I try to not just kill bugs for the sake of killing bugs. And if I can, if I find a spider in my house, I'm not just gonna squish it. I try to get
throw
it
it
outside.
outside.
Now if some fucking fly is buzzing me and won't leave me alone, and that thing's gotta die. But
Well, it's funny is because, I don't just go maliciously around stomping every bug I see. But if, sometimes gut reaction, like say you see a fucking bug crawl through your house or something, sometimes you just fucking stomp on it or whatever. Like it is. Dude, I can't bring myself to like stomp on a mouse.
right, yeah,
Like I'll put out a mouse trap and let it fucking die that way and just throw away the trap, be done with it. Like,
Yeah.
But for me, just to stomp a squish a mouse, that's a little dark, dude. It's a little creepy.
it is.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny how we can justify things.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It'll be an interesting process, man.
yeah.
Just take about a year. I guess his buddy closes on that property here, in the next week or two.
What's a calf cost?
Only a few $100, man.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he found a place nearby that we can, buy a cab for a few $100 and we're up and running, man.
There you go.
Can't name him or her because then you just get too attached.
Right.
So it's just going to be number one.
Number
This is our
one.
first cow. Number one.
That might be pretty. That's kind of close to a name.
And it's kind of close to a name. You might have to stretch it out. Like number 1, 2, 3, 4 or something.
Just cow.
Just cow.
Or I don't know. Anything you give, it's gonna be a name.
It's be a name.
That's how fucking Z got his name. I just started calling him Baby Z. Next thing you know, it's stuck.
Z.
It's like, oh man, his name's Z now.
His name is Z.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. Good adventure. So if I got any other. I got. Kind of interesting. Did you hear like the Kurt Osiander drama or whatever?
No.
Because what he coached at was it Half Gracie's?
Yeah, he had a Health
Academy
Gracie affiliate.
in San Francisco.
I mean, it was his school, but he's a Health Gracie black belt.
Yeah.
And so I guess I don't know that for a fact, but I assumed it was his school, and he's Health Gracie black belt, so he was a Health Gracie affiliate. Is that not accurate?
I don't know. But yeah, apparently he broke off and is starting his own school. And I don't know what. Anyways, the BJJ rumor sites are interesting places, right? But like the initial rumor was that the Half Gracie school had gotten sold to Gracie Baja, and they came in with a bunch of rules or whatever. And then, but then apparently Half Gracie came out and said, I never sold my school to Gracie Baja, I sold my school. But I don't know, it sounds like they were trying to start to enforce some rules. I mean, if you're employing Kurt Osiander, like,
Dude, how
you got to fly pretty loose.
in what fucking universe did you think that Kurt Osiander was gonna fit into these Gracie Baja bullshit fucking rules.
Yeah. See,
mean,
again, the latest was that it wasn't. So like that was the initial
That was
thing.
the rumor.
But I think what it is like they started to try to enforce, like start doing some rules. You know, like hey, let's not flip people off on the mats. And you know, like it can be a little tough when you're used to no rules. But yeah, it's interesting. Kurt's his kind of right hand man, Jake. He's from Kauai, and we used to work together at the Beach House restaurant. And I barely remember the guy. He was like a little bus boy. And so, but yeah, anyways, I don't know. I guess him and Jake are busting out, starting their own school. And but yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting, man. He's like a pretty high profile, well liked.
So it must not have been
guy.
his school. It must not have been his school then.
No, it sounds like it was house school, and he was just employed there as a coach. And so it sounds like the rules, and then they let Jake go, and so it was one of those deals where they probably didn't fire him, but just I've been in those situations where your boss just wants to make the situation really, really, really uncomfortable.
So you quit.
So you have to quit.
Yep.
And kind of sounds like it might have been one of those things. But I don't know, man. I met that dude at Masters Worlds. He was cool as shit. I mean,
he's a good dude.
He's
man.
a good dude.
I don't know him personally.
Not like personally, but it just I don't know.
You see the info he puts out, and and I've seen a lot of interviews with him. Yeah, he's just a normal fucking guy that loves jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
A little, I don't know, so to speak, rough around the edges, I guess.
Yeah.
But so are we.
So are we.
You know, that's probably...
Well, so is Anthony Robbins. You know what I mean? Like, he cusses and does shit, and there's a reason for it. It gets your attention.
Yeah.
Like, people like to pretend that it doesn't, but, man, when you say fuck, like, people are like, whoa, what's going on here? It's like, yeah, he's rough around the edges. They had there was a saying in the Plutarch book about Hercules, how he was rough and unrefined and meant for greater things. You know, basically, like... You know, it's tough to fit into society when you're rough and unrefined, but those are the guys that they're meant for greater things. Like man's calling is so much higher than being a consumer, being a fucking politician, being like, you know, some like what these things that society tells us is important, and you know, this is what it takes to be a man. It's like a lot of us don't fucking necessarily fit into that mold, and we get in trouble because we start chasing what society tells us we should chase instead of realizing that it's all bullshit. You just need to work on your fucking arm bars.
Right. Fucking arm bars. Stop buying shit. Believe in the lies and fucking work on your arm bars, man.
Work on your arm
Whenever
bars,
you're doing
man.
something, think to yourself, how is this improving my fucking arm bars?
Right.
And if it's not,
do I really need to be
doing this?
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you have
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you got to do the bullshit.
Yeah, but yeah, you should run it through that filter.
The arm bar filter, not just the jiu-jitsu filter.
Yeah.
Like, my arm bar's getting better because of this activity. Nope. Well, then fuck this activity.
Yeah. Is your job interfering with your arm bars?
Fuck
Maybe
yeah, it
you need
is.
a job.
But my job also allows me to do arm bars. So there's a fine line there.
There is a fine line.
You got a delicate dance.
There is a delicate dance. There's the yin and the yang for sure. So you can't all be jiu-jitsu bums, and but still gotta work on your arm bars.
Still gotta work on your arm bars.
I know, man. Speaking of which, I was starting to I can't remember who it was. Had to finish one today.
Did you?
Yeah, I've been getting into fucking armbar fights and getting lazy, and I was like, man, I haven't finished one of these in a while, and yeah, I don't know.
I like catching you on arm bars because you're hard to finish with arm bars. So when I get one, it's an accomplishment. You're so fucking good at defending and keeping that arm band in.
Yeah. You and Kevin have been getting me pretty good with those.
You know, it's funny. It was a few weeks ago. I hadn't gone for him on you in a while, and I seen Kevin finish one on you. I watched the whole scenario, how he set it up. I was like, perfect. Noted. And then so the next time we wrestled, I did the exact same thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why it worked.
Yeah, so I gotta get my pattern recognition skills down. It just sucks because you don't realize, like, dude, so much of good jiu-jitsu is like you're taking advantage of them not paying attention to something else. You're creating a fire over here. They pay attention to that. And then next thing you know, you're getting your fucking arm snatched up. Or, dude, Kevin caught me today in a fucking backstep knee bar. I was like, are you kidding? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that move's there. How, like, and it was just like, he was sitting back going for it before I even hit. I was so fucking focused on the guard pass and trying to, blah, 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 playing this game over here. All of a sudden he steps around. I'm just like, knee bar. And it's just like, what the fuck's
like,
wrong?
God damn it.
God damn it, man. But, man, that's just it. You create that pressure that gets them...
Distract them
over here. And then, then you hit them with something else over there. And, yeah, that's... But then you realize, like, fuck, being susceptible to that, I got my problems, so.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Hell yeah, dude. So. All right, what do you got any notes there?
Yeah, I got a few. We kind of covered, we hit them up. This was random, but I'll bring it up. It's something I think about quite a bit. Common sense sways me away, but I still, like, go back to it. Have you ever thought about, like, changing, like, the way you train? Like, and just, like, getting on the fucking Russian super supplement program and just fucking turning yourself into, like, a freak? Just fucking steroids, deadlifts, and fucking heavy metal. And just seeing what you can do. Like, seeing how much of a freak you can turn yourself into. Do you ever think about that? Or am I the only one who fucking thinks about that?
Man. I definitely have thought about it. I don't know that I've recently thought about it. Yeah. See, here's my deal with all that. And I hate to give things power. Now, do steroids and all that shit work? Fuck yeah, they do.
Yeah, it works.
There's no denying it. I mean, I probably told you, just like I did steroids when I was in Greece. I was in Athens for a bit, and you can just walk into a fucking pharmacy and get Decadravelin and Primabol and Depot, and it was hilarious. They're like, because they're osteoporosis drugs over there, and so they're like, what the fuck are these young healthy dudes buying an osteoporosis drug? And we're like, you motherfuckers don't even know. And dude, the shit works for sure. But for me with jiu-jitsu, it's almost the same reason that I hate to get a real grip heavy game in the gi, because you take the gi away and all of a sudden it's like, it's just like trying to switch gears to a totally different game. And so the steroids in my mind are kind of in the same vein, where it's like, man, would it be fun? Yeah, but like, man, if something happened and I couldn't get them anymore, I decided to stop, and then you got to deal with that. And now, is jiu-jitsu going to be as much fun now that you've like given those drugs that kind of power? And so I don't know. I think for me it's a mental thing. Like what sways you? Like, I've thought about that, but fucking whatever, dude. I don't care about all that philosophical shit. Like, I just thought about, like, man, turning yourself into a fucking freak, dude. Like, I just think that, to me, it seems intriguing. And really the only reason... Seems intriguing.
Fuck yeah, dude. But really the only reason I don't is because I don't want the damage to my endocrine system. Like, my endocrine system's working good right now.
Yeah.
I feel good. I'm healthy. Yeah, can I turn myself into a fucking bit of a freak? It would be fun. I mean, dude, fucking, just that combination of fucking steroids, deadlifts, and heavy metal out in the fucking garage. It seems like such a fucking great combination, dude. I just get excited thinking about it. Just like, fucking. But the downside of that, because, you can really fuck up your endocrine system. So then you're on some sort of testosterone replacement therapy for the rest of your life, because you're all fucked up. You're coming off, you're growing bitch tits, or whatever the fuck happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Common sense sways me away, but my meathead side comes out, and I think about that shit sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Get on that, because you get on that fucking Vitor Belfort level fucking testosterone, have it jacked up to like 1,500.
I don't know,
just
man.
have fucking traps up to your ears and just looking like a freak. Like,
I think that I don't know. Because, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, let's just be completely honest. Like, you know, we both compete in Masters Worlds.
Right.
Nobody's peeing in a cup there.
No.
Like, there's nothing to stop either one of us from... We don't got to go fucking balls to the wall, but there's nothing stopping either one of us from getting some testosterone. I mean, I'll almost guarantee you that there's people there that we're slapping hands with that are on testosterone replacement therapy.
I guarantee there is.
Right?
I guarantee it.
Yeah. So there's nothing really to stop us from doing that or going over it a little bit. There's definitely a way for us to gain a chemical edge and compete at Masters Worlds. For sure. And not have to worry about it but, man, I don't know that I could do it. If I won... I wouldn't have won. The fucking drugs would have won.
See, if I was to get on the Russian super supplement program, I wouldn't compete. It's not right.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't feel right about that.
So see, there is like there is some.
I wouldn't feel right.
Moral trepidation.
There is moral trepidation.
Sure.
Like
you just beat the fuck out of your training partners.
Yeah, I don't care about murdering you fuckers in the gym. All jacked up on fucking roids. But yeah, to show up at a tournament, fucking juiced to the gills like this, I don't feel that's right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but
so just to
do it, just for fun. See what kind of a fucking freak I can turn myself into.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
I think you should start with the coffee enema first.
I know there's levels.
There's levels.
Maybe that's like the gateway.
Yeah.
Like I do the coffee enema. I'm like, man, this feels great.
This feels good.
What about a little D-ball?
You throw a little D-ball in my coffee enema, let it sit there for a bit.
I don't know if that's how you should do it. I don't know. I wanted to bring it up, man.
Yeah.
I think about it once in a while.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I was... It's just my inner meathead likes to come out sometimes.
Have you ever done steroids before?
Yeah, back when I was, I don't know, man, I must have been in early mid-20s. Before I started jiu-jitsu, I did a little cycle of Sustanon.
Yeah.
Just one cycle through. Can't remember how long I did it for, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or something.
Yeah.
That was in my real meathead weightlifting days.
How was that?
Dude, that was the point in my life where I got the biggest I had ever gotten. And then, I got up to, I was in the ballpark, 170 to 180, 175 to 180 was the heaviest I ever got. It was before I found jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of it. Like it wasn't. I remember that was the biggest I ever got.
Yeah.
I got pretty strong, but.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, that's the thing is, would you want to stay your same weight, or would you go fucking 200,
I'm just going fucking balls to the wall.
Just pack it on.
Pack. If you're gonna do it, dude, you might as well fucking go all in.
Fucking just.
You might as well go
even the playing field on Randy and Matthias and
you just
fucking
go,
Al and all.
Just
those
go
big
all
dudes.
in, dude.
That's right.
Just fucking have veins sticking out everywhere, the size of fire hoses, just looking obscene.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
said, it's just my inner meathead. I got an inner meathead that fucking it's hard to control sometimes. And I got the inner fat kid that's hard to control sometimes. That'll just eat a whole fucking roll of cookie dough if I'm not careful.
That's why you gotta avoid the 4th of July picnics.
That's why I gotta avoid fucking picnics and shit.
Yeah.
I got these inner fucking demons I gotta fight once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I got
an inner meathead for sure.
For me, I would just be afraid of getting attached. And then when they were gone, it not being the same.
Well, there definitely probably is a very important psychological aspect to that.
Yeah.
There really is. All joking aside, but yeah, just crushing your endocrine system.
Yeah.
To where you come off it, and then now your fucking testosterone drops below 200, and you're feeling like shit all the time.
Yeah.
Well, then you dug a hole for yourself. Then you have to be on something. So.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you don't have a chance to pay your mortgage based on your performance, then it's just really kind of, and even then it's
You're just doing it for the fuck of it.
Yeah, doing it for the fuck of it. So, I don't know. I wouldn't judge you too harshly.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I didn't know if I was the only one who ever had those fucking thoughts.
You're definitely not. Like I said, I've had those thoughts, but
I just think it'd be fun at one point. If they're
for weightlifting, man, it's such a different thing.
Right.
And I gotta say, this is one of the things where I kind of agree like with Joe's take on the difference. Like when I take steroids and I'm just lifting weights, or even if I'm just running or whatever, like the consequences for you aren't there. But if I'm taking steroids and we wrestle and we're rolling, like there's potential physical ramifications for me for it. And so for me, like, dude, if we were fucking just meatheads in the gym and you're like, yo, bro, what do you think? I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah. Like, yes, I gotta say, like, for that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, why not? Or, even if we were like just, for disc golf. Let's get juiced up for disc golf, bro. I want to see how far I want to fucking take that the basket out. Knock it over. Even then I'd be like, all right, man, I can kind of see that. All right, that'd be kind of fun. But, man, there's something with jiu-jitsu and just kind of the combat sport where I just feel like, there's something different there with the potential consequences for the person that I'm rolling with.
But I guess you're assuming that those steroids are going to make you more aggressive. Like, and I'm still not.
No, I don't mean aggressive. I just mean that you're going to be physically stronger. You're going to be physically more powerful. You're going to be.
But I would think I would have the wherewithal to recognize that, and I'm not going to beast mode shit. Like You'd hope. But you think it turned you into fucking like.
Well, no, but I just mean like. Again, like I'm just playing out like devil worst case, right. Like, but you go to snap on an arm bar, and man, honestly, you've improved your strength 20% in a couple of months. Like, do you really think you've got full fucking control of all of that extra horsepower, like to the fine level that you have your current? You know what I mean? Like, where that limit is. Like when you snap that arm bar on quick, like. Exactly where you can take it without causing damage and still holding tight. Man,
but if you got some
weigh another 20 pounds and you've got a little extra strength and you go for that same move,
the same speed,
same
range.
And you don't realize like, so there's, again, it has nothing to do with aggression. You didn't mean to do it, but there is that extra horsepower that you're learning to control.
I can see that. It's like learning how to ride a 600 motorcycle, and then you upgrade to that 750.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's that extra bit of power that you think you have control of that you don't.
Yeah.
You're not used to.
You get to some of the end ranges and you realize like,
okay.
Okay.
I don't have a complete understanding of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't think about it like that.
That's where I kind of have trouble drawing that and saying like, yeah, let's go, into the combat sports and jiu-jitsu. That's why I just kind of put them in a little bit different box. Again, we were talking about earlier, like there's something sacred about them. I really believe that. I believe there's something sacred about combat sports, especially, jiu-jitsu, that other sports just don't have. And it's that, that element of like, man, I have to trust you. Mm-hmm. And part of that trust is that you have control of your body, of your power and strength, and that you're not gonna, accidentally hurt me.
That's a really good point because, I was trying to explain to somebody about jiu-jitsu the other day and like why it was so important to me and why it meant so much, and. That's part of it is, like you say, it is sacred. It is that trust you have in your training partners and how hard we can go with each other because we trust each other. I trust you not to fucking freak out and do something retarded, but also I trust you're looking out for me.
Yeah.
Like even if sometimes I'm not looking out for myself. Like yesterday, I hit, when you were in side control and I hit that one sweep and your head hit the mat first. And you like grunted in frustration just because of the mistake you made and I capitalized. But like I was worried about your neck.
Yeah.
I stopped for a second. Like I didn't give a fuck about position. I was like, dude, your neck okay? And you're like, yeah, it was a stupid mistake. I was like, all right, back to the CrossFit.
Yeah.
But like, that is a special thing.
Yeah.
And there is, I guess for lack of a better word, there is like a sacredness to that. And that's why when you get those fucking meatheads, that you don't trust because they don't have good. They may be really physical, but they don't have good control over the physicality, and you don't trust exactly where they're going to move. It's hard to integrate them into our tribe.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that level of trust with them.
Yeah.
And so that is something pretty special that you take for granted if you don't think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to do something that would interfere with that, you're upsetting the whole structure.
Yep.
That's not good.
No. Nope. So,
Right.
anyways,
Don't worry. I'm not getting on the Russian.
No, I know. It's an interesting philosophical question because it is.
I didn't even bring it up from that standpoint. Like I wasn't even really thinking about that.
Yeah.
But that has more weight now that I think about it and talk about it than my inner meathead would have.
Yeah, see, my inner meathead's with you. Yeah. But my inner jiu-jitsu guy just says, like, man, there's a line there. There's like, that's not honorable. Yeah. And again, like that.
Even just from a training standpoint.
Yeah.
It does. It muddies the waters.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't have a problem. We're older guys. Like, and if you go get tested, you have low T, and you get on and you get on like a medically supervised TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. I have no qualms with that. No. But if you're fucking abusing it.
Yeah, what we're talking about is like the Russian supplement program. You're getting to the supra physiological levels.
Yeah, you're getting to the VTOR levels to where you're testing your testosterone. You're in the 1200 ballpark. Yeah. Like that's abusing the fucking system.
Yeah, if you're just trying to
be healthy.
And I mean, on some levels, just keep the playing field even, right? Like if you've got super low testosterone and other dude doesn't, and then it's not necessarily level playing field. So I can see that. But yeah, if you're starting to, take it to that next level, like that's where I'm like, now
it's getting a little rough.
Then we're getting out of health, and now we're getting into performance enhancement, and it gets really muddy. But yeah, that's my. I have no moral things against steroids at all. Like I think it's ridiculous that they're outlawed in most sports. Like
I agree. I think it's stupid.
I think even in MMA, like using them as recovery, again, it's taking things to the super physiological level, but man, using things to help you recover from an injury or just, help speed your recovery, there's just, I don't know, there's ways to use steroids that keep the athletes healthier, right? Because the thing that people forget is, like, do steroids have a health risk and cost? Yeah. But you know what else does? Getting punched in the fucking head for a living. Or taking a fucking tackle from a 250-pound linebacker running a 4.5, 4.4 40. You know what I mean? Like, these are not healthy activities, like, when you get to the high level of sport. And so the thing is that the hard thing for people to wrap their minds around is that proper use of steroids will actually make sports less unhealthy for these athletes.
Well, it was put out there during like the whole Tour de France and Lance Armstrong, debacle, that it's been stated that the actual Tour de France, it is healthier for those athletes to be on.
That's just it, right?
It's healthier for them to be sauced up than not.
Right.
It's such a grueling fucking event.
Yeah. The toll it takes on your body. At a certain point, the drugs aren't taking you to super physiological levels. They're just keeping your body
from
crashing and fucking shutting down. And so when you're pushing your body to that level, and again, then people would argue, well, just don't push your body to that level. But it's like Pandora's box, man. Like, once that fucker's out, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in that tube.
Yeah, you're putting it back in the tube.
Right.
Once you turn something into a sport and a competitive endeavor, people are always going to push the goddamn limits.
Yeah.
Man. They're always, because some guy wins, he's the fucking champion, and you see what he's doing. The next guy coming up wants to be the champion. He's going to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's going to train a little bit fucking harder. He's going to learn the new thing. And it just evolves and it fucking grows.
Yeah.
And the toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in.
No, man. So, I think it's kind of silly that it is like it is. But, no moral qualms against it. But going on the Super Sauce program just so I can beat the fuck out of you and Kevin. As tempting as it sounds, I just know that one day the sauce will end. And when that playing field gets leveled back out, then It's like, shit. Now I got a bunch of ass whoopings coming my way, and I got no super supplements to help me.
Damn it.
But,
I don't know.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever. It was just an interesting. Like, my inner meathead thinks about that shit sometimes.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff to think about.
Yeah. I think about all kinds of weird shit. Most of them I don't bring up to the outside world. Most of it stays in my head. I felt that one was safe to bring up.
Oh, man, I got some news. I finally finished the Plutarch book.
Did you?
I did. Finished it like 2 days ago.
Nice.
So, through with that.
What's on it? What are you on to now?
I'm reading Shoe Dog, the Phil Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Autobiography.
I have not read it yet, but
it's interesting. It's an interesting read so far. It's like it's not super dry. Like it's well written. Like as far as like pretty engaging, but it is kind of I don't know, man. Like it's a weird thing. Like Nike's a funny entity because you have to take the good with the bad, right? Like so Nike, man, they fucked a lot of people up with their running shoes.
Yep.
A lot of people up with their running shoes, right? The whole we need big cushy soles and we need arch support and a lot of these things. They fucked a lot of people's feet up with them. You've got the whole child labor, like sweatshop bullshit that they've been involved in manufacturing their goods. They've been responsible for the whole Air Jordan basketball shoe, like $200-$300, like the height of consumerism, and so I don't know, man. Like a lot of people are like, "Yay, Nike's great." Not like I kind of look at it a little differently. Like, man, Nike's really wreaked a lot of havoc in their wake, and it's interesting reading this book. I realized like Phil Knight was in his early 20s, just out of college, when he came up with this idea. And his original idea, again, I'm just in the beginning of it, but his original idea was to, like, I think it was like the late 50s, early 60s, when Japanese electronics started to make their way over to the U.S. And, of course, this is post-World War II. It was less than, 2 decades before we were fucking fighting. And but yeah, the electronics came out and they were cheaper, high quality, started kind of undercutting like some of the German cameras and other things in the market. And so his idea was, well, let's do this with shoes. Let's see if we can find a Japanese shoemaker and have them come into the U.S. market and basically same thing. Like they'll be able to do it cheaper and undercut like the top guys. And so that was his original idea to do it. But man, this is like 20-something-year-old kid who's just decided that like I'm doing this no matter what. And on the surface it sounds like a great story, but then you're like, was that really the best idea for you to do that? You know what I mean? Like maybe you need a little bit more perspective and just kind of like, I don't know. But now that I read it, I've started reading, I'm like, oh, Nike was started by a 20-something-year-old kid who thought he knew better. No wonder they fucking ended up like where they were. Yeah. And so anyways, and it's just, now they've changed. They've had to change a lot of their stuff as they've grown. They've got, better shoes and they've had to change some of their manufacturing processes and stuff like that. So I'll hand it to them. I mean, they definitely know there's still some problems, but they're trying to make changes. But like I said, it's funny now that I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. 20-something-year-old kid who thinks he knows better ends up fucking up the world in his wake and having to kind of backfill some things and change some things and rewrite the narrative, if you will, of how exactly Nike came about and kind of what the real history of it is. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm on. But yeah, that Plutarch book took forever. Months and months.
You were reading that for a long time.
So yeah, there was actually one story in there. We were talking about this, like, who was the first person who figured out to like bake bread, or like ate that mushroom and like, oh, that one's good. Like there was someone who was the first to try everything, and it's just I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thought to think about. But there was one story in the book where with Mark Anthony, him and Cleopatra were the famous couple. And anyways, he was marching his army back, and they got fucking stuck for food. And they said they found these roots, and the men who ate the roots would like lose their minds, and they would wander around the camp collecting rocks and stacking them, and then they would die.
Guess we shouldn't eat those roots.
Shouldn't eat those roots, man. I don't know why it made me think about like, all right, who was the first person to say, fuck it, I'm hungry, I'm trying that root. And like, yeah, start stacking rocks and dies.
Man, why is Billy stacking rocks?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Hand me some more of them roots.
I know.
Fuck, I'm going to stack some rocks.
Stack some rocks too. It's the best thing ever. So it was an interesting visual. They said like, yeah, they were like, couldn't fucking stop them. Like stacking rocks was the most important thing in the world, and then they'd do it till they died. And so yeah, some interesting shit in that book, man. So
I'm gonna dive into a book. I'm finishing up. Let's see. I listened to Michael Pollan's book, In Defense of Food. That's pretty good. I haven't decided on my next audio book yet. I'm still shopping around. I'm finishing up with The Warrior Diet.
yeah,
I'm getting. I got too many books started, but I got a hair up my ass. I want to study a little bit about the religion that the Vikings had, the Norse paganism.
really.
I want to learn a little bit about that, like, cause I know nothing about it, man. Like zero. But man, they were fucking pretty religious. Like they committed to that.
Yeah,
But they really liked to, like if they saw a village around, over on the other side of the mountain, they had a lot of shit that they didn't have, they would go over that hill, fuck them up and take it. And Odin was with them. The gods were with them. The gods are in our favor. Let's go take these people's shit. So to me, it's interesting religion. Like their religion told them it was okay to go fuck people up and take other people's stuff.
dude, everyone's religion did. The fucking Romans, the Greeks, the
So
Persians.
I want to read a little bit about it. I bought a book about Norse paganism.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read it.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I haven't started it yet. I just got it the other day. So
Dude, yeah, man. I told you the Romans were fucking big on that shit. They didn't fucking do anything without consulting the augurs, the people who could read the signs. So, bird flying overhead, they were obsessed with birds. Or they do the sacrifice and then look at the entrails of the victim and read them and be like, oh, today's a good day. Like that was literally one of the stories. I forget. I think it was one of the Spartan kings or whatever. Dude, they're fucking under attack. Like they're being charged by the enemy, and the priest is like doing the sacrifice, and the first one's not good. And he's like, "Well, we can't go to battle yet. Do another sacrifice." And they're literally like doing another sacrifice. I'm trying to like visualize in my mind. Are these guys just like literally like standing here like getting cut down, or are they just kind of like lightly defending themselves, waiting for the word to go? Like I don't know, but like. The story
the
was literally
gods aren't
like,
with us yet.
the
Don't
gods
fight.
aren't with us yet. We cannot fight until the signs say the gods are with us. And so they're literally being pressed and attacked, and they do another sacrifice, and the signs are favorable. Turn around and fucking whoop everybody's ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like the point that they took that shit to. And
it's intriguing to me.
It's intriguing.
It really is.
It's really, but it was their religion. Your gods told you that it was okay to go over there and fuck that other dude up.
Yeah.
And if you failed, I misread the signs. Obviously, the gods were not in our favor.
The gods were not with us.
Gods were not with us. The gods of that city are stronger. But dude, back then, man, it was a simplicity. I said it before. Like on some level, I kind of envy them in their kind of childlike simplicity of it was the gods and the fates, and you just realize, dude, there's so much out of our control versus like today's society where we're told like you can control everything, and it creates this illusion that is just completely false. But man, back then, a lot of those religions, the Vikings, they're going over and raiding, like dying is a very real part of their existence. And
oh yeah, I mean, right, like they want to die in battle. That's such an honorable way to die. They get into Valhalla when they die. Their heaven or whatever it is. They are accepted into Valhalla. Odin will allow them in if they die in battle.
Yeah.
You know,
So again, they're incentivized not to turn and run.
Don't turn and run.
Yeah.
I mean, they're yelling at each other like Valhalla's that way.
Yeah.
Towards the enemy.
Witness me.
Dude, that's so gangster. Like, I get goosebumps thinking about it. Like, Valhalla's that way, motherfucker. Fight.
Yeah.
And
they bought, for sure. It would get them. That's the level they had to believe in what they were doing.
Maybe that's what to do the crazy shit that they were about to do.
They were doing.
Give
like,
them the courage.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the Spartans had their law about not turning and running. The Romans, same thing. Like, you know, the whole decimation thing was, dude, fucking legion turned and ran. They'd put them in groups of 10. Everybody would draw lots. Whoever lost, the other 9 would beat them to death. That's fucking... I don't want that to fucking happen, bro. I am not turning and running. So, like, the societies that either... They had the right mix of societal pressure and religious pressure and just kind of... Just an internal honor that they instilled in their soldiers. And, you know, you look throughout history and it was like those were the guys, you know, before the gun... Like, those were the people who dominated shit. And, yeah, for the most part. Then the Mongols came and fucking rode horses around everybody and shot arrows.
Fuck your mom.
But that's, but yeah, so that's, yeah. Tell me what you find out, man.
I'm going to dig into it here pretty soon.
All those old warrior philosophies are extremely interesting. Kind of how they had to, they just had to look at the world completely different. Like, I don't know that you can even wrap your mind around. Like, how did you look at the world as a Viking warrior?
I think that's why what kind of intrigued me about it. And I got started down that path just from watching that show Vikings. You know, I was like, these motherfuckers are badass. You know, so then I've been doing a little research, reading a little bit, and I was like, all right, I got to find out more about this religion because that's like a big guiding principle. That's what motivates them.
Yeah,
that's what tells them what to do, what they believe in. I was like, all right, because I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the religion was called. It's really like, and really what I distilled it down to was Norse paganism.
Yeah, they were just I think it was. I mean, because because before the Romans came in the British Isles, I mean that was what. You know, paganism, Stonehenge, all that shit. I mean, that was like the primary religion, if you will, which really wasn't. It was just kind of an interesting mix of like you'd have local gods. It was a lot of, you know, believing that like a tree and animals, like everything kind of had its own spirit and whatnot. So again, I
know nothing about it. So
yeah,
that's what I want to. I'm not saying I'm going to go deep into this rabbit hole, but I want to educate myself a little bit.
Yeah, that's about my surface level knowledge of what it is. But you do know that eventually, like, Christianity became their religion,
right?
And again, like one of the main reasons that it became their religion was to unite the people. They wanted to get one king instead of all these tribes doing their shit. And again, you got local deities and local customs. So how do we get everybody on the same page? Religion. We get everybody to go to this one God. So
it's easier to control the masses that way.
It kind of is in some ways.
I think a lot of people forget that when it comes to organized religion. That's where a lot of like the motivation came from.
Dude, it's scary when you look back on the history.
The history of it, like that's what it was. Like we need to form a big ass fucking army.
How do we unite people?
Yeah, how do we unite people? These people are over here praying to the fucking God of the sea. We don't think there's a God of the sea. There's just one fucking God. Like, and we're not going to be on the same page. Like, we need, these warriors are great. These warriors are great. Let's just get them all to agree to one God.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so much easier that way, point them in the fucking right direction. That's what a lot of it was.
A lot of it was, man. I mean, that was, again, going back to, like, just the signs. I mean, that's the famous story. I can't remember the Roman emperor, but... You know, that's how Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. Was before this battle, apparently he saw a vision of a cross in the sun and heard a voice that said, "In this sign you will find victory." And he won the battle. And, well, you know, Christianity's, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, in the same, there's just so many instances, man, where you're like, really? That's how this whole train just kept moving down the tracks, and it's not like the purest motives, you know. It wasn't like it wasn't like Jesus. Like
Oh no!
Was it all Jesus, dudes?
It wasn't all
pushing
pure,
that train down the tracks, man.
Most of it was not pure motives.
No, man.
No.
Yeah, a lot of it did have some interesting. How's this gonna play out politically, and how's this gonna, we want to get an alliance with them, so we're gonna marry their daughter to our prince, and we're gonna take on their religion, so we're all under the same boat. And yeah, it was an interesting time back then. So. But anyways, let me know what you think, man.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting into that one.
Yeah, that'll be good. I don't know what I'm going to read after Shoe Dog, but I'll figure it out.
And I got a little stack of books that I got to get after. I'm just like, oh, that one seems interesting. I grab it, and now I'm like playing catch up, trying to fucking read them all. So.
Yeah. So did you get tickets to go see Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, dude.
Where's he talking at?
He's going to be in Denver.
Okay.
It's not until October 7th. It's Sunday. He's going to be at the Paramount. Yeah, man, just after listening to him on Joe Rogan there this past week, yeah, I got the impression, because he skyrocketed to fame. Like, he was just a fucking professor up in Ontario, or up in Canada, some fucking where.
Yeah, exactly. Some fucking where, right?
Then he, they put out a law saying that he had to use these correct gender pronouns. And he's like, whoa. That is not correct. You cannot tell me how to talk. You can't tell me what words I can and cannot use.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. That is not right. That is a very slippery slope. And it would just fucking snowball.
Right. It becomes a homophobe.
Yeah, it's snowball.
Yeah.
He gets mischaracterized so much. Man, he's so fucking smart. And I got this feeling that he's getting, because he put out the last book, the 12 Rules for Life. He's been doing this tour. It's a book tour, but it's not. It's just debates, too. He's had Sam Harris come with him on a few occasions to where they'll just sit down and have, a 3-hour-long conversation in front of a crowd. And, he brings different guests. I don't know what guest he's going to have in Denver. It doesn't have it listed yet. But, man, I just kind of get... There was something. I just had this inkling after listening to this last conversation with him and Joe that he might not be doing this for a real long time. Because he just fucking skyrocketed to stardom, so to speak. It was nothing he ever planned. He's just riding that wave. And I think that he's smart enough to realize that there comes a time where he's going to have to pull himself back out of that public eye. So I don't know.
Think so?
I think so, man. So I was like, dude, I thought about wanting to, go see him, just hear him talk. I've listened to so many of his talks and lectures and interviews and read his book. And I was like, man, I want to, I don't know if he's going to keep, maybe he'll do this for another 20 years and I'm wrong in my fucking guess. But if not, it's going to be one of those, it would be one of those things I'd be pissed. Oh, he's not going around doing this talk anymore.
Yeah.
I've never been to anything like that. So I'm like, fuck it, let's go, man.
Huh.
So Nate and I are going.
Nice.
So, I'm still waiting. I bought the tickets already, but I'm waiting for an IQ test to come through. And they're going to make me take a test. And dude, you're too stupid to come to this fucking lecture.
Oh.
I'm waiting for them. I bought the tickets, but they're going to be wait a second. This guy's not qualified to come.
Oh, man. I don't think that's...
But,
that's, yeah. I'll be interested to kind of hear, what the difference is, with his talk, what's, because I've read his book and...
Yeah, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I really don't. He's... in a lot of these appearances, he brings someone who kind of opposes him one way or another. And so he'll have a moderator. It's kind of like a debate, but just a long-form conversation, really.
Yeah.
And have someone that doesn't quite agree with him on a certain subject. So then they can bounce. Yeah, because if you listen to Jordan Peterson talk, he really uses these long-form conversations and talks to sort ideas out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that when he's speaking. He doesn't come in with this rigid idea. He comes in with a framework.
Yeah.
And he's got his morals and his guiding principles and what he thinks is right and wrong. But he has these conversations with people, and you see him, you hear him sorting those out. And you'll hear him sometimes be like, huh. And, as smart as he is, but he does a lot of his thinking and working either talking or writing. He emphasizes a lot on writing. Even if you're not a writer, you don't plan on fucking publishing anything or anybody ever reading anything you wrote. It's such a great exercise for you to fucking write. It helps you organize those thoughts. If you don't have the opportunity to have these long form conversations and sort shit out, writing is another avenue for that. It helps you sort those things out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I'm stoked, man. It's like I say, it's not until October.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. That's funny. You mentioned that you couldn't see him doing, or not sure how long he's going to do it for. I hadn't really thought about that. I just got done listening to the Ted Nugent interview, and then I fired this one up. And what's funny is I was thinking like they're similar. Like Ted and Jordan, like you wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, what the fuck? But it's like they're both extremely intelligent.
Yep.
Especially in like their area of expertise, man. You get Ted talking about hunting and conservation, and and you can tell he's super intelligent, and they're how do I put it, like they both feel like they're fighting a good fight, like they're kind of like it wouldn't necessarily be their choice to be confrontational and having to like argue with people, but they're not going to back down in the face of lies that are actually like bad for what they care about. And so yeah, I could see him being like Ted, being like fucking 70 years old, still getting out there and just being like,
it's possible. I don't know where I got that idea from, but it snuck in. Like that idea snuck in after listening to that conversation.
It can be tiring. It takes a certain personality to deal with it. I mean, I've had to deal with it on a very, very small scale, just with Bike James and just some of the stuff with me, because I'm a real big flat pedal advocate, and I've done a lot for trying to illuminate the truth about and the science and stuff behind the stuff. And dude, like they're talking about, like I've gotten some nasty fucking emails and some nasty comments and some really crazy shit from people, and it can get tiring. Like it can start to grate on your soul after a little while. So it takes a certain kind of personality. So I can certainly see it both ways, because he does strike me as the kind of guy that's like, if he had his choice, this
isn't what he signed up for.
Yeah, this isn't what he signed up for.
He had no intentions of ever going to where it is.
No.
He sees that there's a need for it.
Yeah, it's like the universe.
Dude, there's a big fucking shift. I was thinking a lot about this too. Is like, there's a huge societal shift going on. And a lot of it is the way we consume our media, and then the medium's the way in which people are communicating. And, they talked about it on...
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
The printing press was a big revolution.
Right.
Well, this is like that multiplied.
Right.
And I agree.
Like point out, we don't know how many people can read.
Exactly.
Everyone can listen.
Everybody can listen. And people are really starting to make that shift to where these long-form conversations like you and I have, and we fucking record them, that's really what a lot of these podcasts are. That's what I listen to, dude. I dig it. And if you would have told me this back when I was 18, that people are just going to have conversations and other people are going to be able to listen in, I'd be like, dude, that sounds so fucking boring.
Yeah.
But the way we consumed all our media back then was just short little snippets. Half-hour long sitcoms, 22 minutes in commercials. And you would consume it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and there would be a goddamn commercial. Then 5 minutes, 10 minutes, commercial, blah, blah, blah. The way you got your political information, your health information, was all in the news. And you would have, like they do on those stupid fucking Fox News or CNN, to where they got like 4 people on the screen, and it's whoever's the most charismatic and whoever can say the good thing real fast and shout over the other person. There's no room for actual conversation and sorting things out. Because a lot of times those talking heads you see on the screen, they want the same thing, the good for people. They just have an idea, like, I want to come from this angle to create good for the world. I want to come from this angle to do. We obviously have a different idea, but we're looking for the same thing. We can't sort this out in a 20-minute conversation. This is a fucking 4-hour long conversation that's just going to keep going. Like, we're not going to, we got to keep revisiting it, because we got to come up, okay, let's try this solution. This solution isn't working. Let's have another conversation. Like, it's an ongoing thing. And as a society, everything's shifting that way. Like, instead of, dude, cable TV is fucking dying.
Yeah.
It's dying. Who the fuck watches... I don't know anybody who watches fucking sitcoms with commercials anymore. Like, when I see someone watching TV, a regular like cable show with commercials, I'm like, what is going on here? And nowadays they put out, like, I'm talking about Vikings or fucking what's that? There's Westworld, but what's the other one on HBO?
I don't know.
But all these shows that are like
Yeah.
fucking 10 seasons, hour-long episodes, no interruptions. They're like these 40-hour-long movies. That would have never been the thing, but that's the norm. People are engaged longer and understanding that, shit's not so black and white, and shit can't be sorted out in just these little snippets and these little 5-minute conversations. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
So there's that need there. People understand, and it's filling, like, these podcasts are filling that void for people. And it's changing things.
Yeah.
It's fucking really changing things at a crazy fast rate. And I don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to develop, but I don't know, man. It's fucking pretty interesting. And Jordan Peterson, guys like Jordan Peterson are on the fucking forefront of that. And he's like fighting for common sense. And really, when you think about it, like, he's like, no, man, like, hate speech sucks. We don't want people out there fucking, but they have the right to talk. Say the most ridiculous shit you can think of. They have the right to say that.
Yeah.
But you have the right to, like, shut them down and be like, hey, dude, you're an idiot. And, for you to be, canceling out a whole segment of society just because their skin's darker than yours. This is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's completely absurd. And here's why. I don't know. He's filling a void.
Yeah.
But society's making that shift, and I think a lot of people are realizing that void is there. They may not have even known that void was there, and now they're seeing it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's it's kind of the first opportunity because, like, true philosophical debate, like, that's how it's always been. I mean, you go back to, like, Aristotle and Plato, and, like, that's what they would do. They had their fucking spot, and they would debate, and they would talk, and they'd come back the next day, and they would debate and talk, and people would come and listen, and it was this, like, that's actually, humans have consumed their media like that for way longer than they consumed it like we've been doing it today. And so I think that the problem was, I think at the beginning of that, the Joe Rogan talk where he was talking with Jordan, they were talking about, like you were saying, how there's been this revolution in technology that's allowed us to get these long form conversations out. And the problem that we were facing before was just bandwidth.
Yeah.
There was just only so many TV stations. There was only so many radio stations. It was just, so you had so much content that people were trying to get onto these very limited bandwidths. And then you got to remember that the people who are running this stuff, a lot of times they're businesses, so they're trying to make money. So how do we make the most money? And so a lot of these decisions of, like, the half-hour sitcom with the 30-second commercials, this is what the human or the American consumer wants. It's like, well, one, they didn't know, it's a new technology, and two, a lot of it was just driven by profit motive. Like, how do we get more shows so we can get more demographics, so we can appeal to more? Because if you've got a show that's appealing to young kids, and then you got a show that's appealing to adults, and then you got a show that's appealing to, like, singles, well, now you can get different advertisers in. And so, anyways, a lot of that came that, but you're just able to, it's almost a rebirth of what humans have been doing since the dawn of time.
I never thought about that. Because you said it right. Those old philosophers used to just come together and have those talks, and people would circle around and listen.
That's what people used to do, period.
Right, and they would come, and that was normal. And we got away from that, and we're getting back to that. And I never even thought. I don't know why I never thought about it like that, but we're making that circle back.
Yeah. But the books are great, but they're limited, right? Because there are a lot of people who can't read. There are a lot of because a lot of the great philosophers of the past, is like, man, if you didn't go hear them talk live, then maybe you could get, like, their writings and things like that. But that's what we're able to. I feel like there was kind of like a dead period where that long form conversation format with the philosophers is probably still happening, but it just wasn't happening in the public view.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
probably
what I mean?
happening in like academic
Yeah.
circles,
Right.
here and there. But for the general public,
Right.
we didn't, we wouldn't have access to it.
Yeah, we wouldn't know what's going on. We didn't
Unless
have
you were
access to it.
at a university or it
Just
ran
in
in
those
that circles,
right.
like you wouldn't have access to
Yeah,
that.
or even hear that it was happening. But maybe you heard about their book, right?
Right.
So their book would come out, so you would get like their book, and so I feel like there was a period where like, the long form conversation almost kind of went into the dark because the book was almost more important. Like, I'm going to write everything out into a book, and people can just read the book. And man, there's limitations with it. Like the reading's great, and the book is great, but it's not the same thing as hearing people talk. Mm-hmm. It's not the same thing as having two people being able to have a conversation and discuss things. And so, like I said, man, now the more I think about it, I just feel like what we're going through is just kind of a renaissance of sorts of that. Our philosophers today, like that's what Jordan Peterson is. He's a great philosopher. He's one of the great thinkers of our time. Well, now he has a format like a classic Aristotle, Plato format. He can talk for several hours and talk to people, and then now we can all benefit from it. So, no, I agree, man. I think there's definitely something, changes in the air. I think that's a big part of it. But I think we're just getting back to what humans have always done, more than it being a change. We're just kind of like we're talking about, like there's repercussions to every revolution. So the technological revolution, we're still trying to figure out what all the repercussions and the downfalls are. And I feel like that was the loss of that was kind of one of it. And so now we're getting it back.
But now the technology is caught up to where it's bringing it back.
Yep.
Because we can, an average citizen such as ourselves has access to that information, or have access to put the technology to put a podcast out for relatively the barrier to entry is so cheap.
Yeah.
We have access to that much information.
Yeah.
So it's not just the elites being able to read or have access to the certain books.
Right.
It's the technology has now got to the point to where it's everybody can get their hands or get their ears on it.
Yeah, everybody can listen.
Everybody can listen
to that. Yeah, it's funny. People don't. Most people probably don't remember, but when writing came out, people poo-pooed it. They were like, "Oh man, we're gonna ruin people's memories. Now they don't have to remember stuff because they can just write it the fuck down." Like, because all the great, like Homer, like the Iliad and the Odyssey, like those were written down long after they were like created. Like they were originally like oral stories, and that was a big part of it. So yeah, writing's good and reading's good, but I think that it's like we were talking about like with sports. I think that hearing someone talk, there's something primal to that you can't really capture the same way with the written word. And the technology's ability to spread the spoken word is definitely changing things for sure. So yeah, no, I agree.
It's a cool time.
It's
a cool time to be a part of it. And if you're not, if you're listening to this, you're obviously privy to podcast. But man, I challenge you to go out there and listen to fucking audiobooks that maybe you wouldn't agree with, or a subject that you have known nothing about.
Yeah.
Just put it on. Like if you got, I think a lot of people don't like to read because they don't schedule the time to do it. And it's a skill, it's a muscle you have to develop. And I'm getting faster at it, but I'm still not a fast reader.
Yeah.
And I have to dedicate the time to do it, or I don't. Because life consumes up the fucking hours of the day, man. Next thing you know, I gotta go to bed. But man, there's so much of your day that you could put on an audiobook or a podcast and fucking learn and better yourself while you're doing something else.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. It's free. All these podcasts are free.
Yeah.
There's the ones you have to pay for, but a lot of them are fucking free. And for you not to be tapping into that, it's really just a shame.
Yeah.
It's when I see people not capitalizing that, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. man, your life just gets better. Like, you learning shit.
Yeah,
like,
the more you learn, man.
The more you
things
learn.
are.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's why I want to read this book about Norse paganism, you know? Fuck it, man. Like, it's interesting. Let's learn. Maybe I'll get 20 pages into it and I'll be like, this is ridiculous. And I'll sell the fucking thing on eBay. You never know.
Never know.
Next thing you know, maybe I'll fucking be a Norse paganist.
There you go. Do it on the Russian supplement program. You're like, hey, my God said that it's all right to use any means possible to fuck you up. So
I'm on the Russian super
Odin
sauce.
the Allfather.
Odin says I'm
on the Odin supplement program.
I'm on the Odin program.
So, yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to go see Jordan Peterson.
Cool.
I never would have thought a meathead like myself would be interested in something like that, but pretty stoked, man.
Yeah, dude, there's just eternal truths that speak to all of us that I think a lot of people have done a really good job of turning the volume down on that internal voice. But, man, when you hear it, it's really kind of hard to deny. So I think that's why he's resonating with people like he is, because you just get tired of hearing the bullshit. I mean,
you do, because he's not, man. If you listen to everything he says, he is not malicious or angry, or he's not going after one group of people. No. Like, he wants the better for everybody, man. Like,
he treats everybody equally.
Yeah, like he wants the fucking world to be a good place,
right?
And he understands there's problems in the world, and everybody's gonna have different solutions. But that's okay.
But that debate's part of the process.
That's part of the process.
No one's supposed to win or lose. Like,
it's not.
That's the fucking point.
That is the point.
If one side wins, we all lose.
We all lose. It's not a winning or losing proposition. It's not teams.
Right.
And that whole, the way we've been, forced to consume all this shit, especially like politics, it's teams. Red team, blue team, Republicans, Democrats. This is like, if
Republicans need to win or the Democrats need to win.
No, that's not it. That's not it, man.
It's not it.
We're missing a lot of shit here in the process.
You got to keep each other in balance. Like, that's the whole fucking thing. So, yeah, that's the trick. That's not what people want to hear. They want their side to win.
Man, there's no winner. No. Team people.
Team people.
That's what we're on, man.
That's right, man.
Team human being.
We sound like fucking hippies.
Hey, though. Yeah. You told me I was a hippie today.
That's
like,
right. You're doing your yoga.
You were like, man, I'm into mobility. Stretching's for hippies.
That's right.
It totally sounds like something I would have said.
I
said that, and a part of me was like, yes, I'm influencing James more than he knows. Because that is totally something I would have fucking said.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So. Anyways. All right.
I think that's about all I got for now. We've been fucking flapping our traps for like 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Unscripted.
Yeah, that's about all I got. I'll finish with a quote from Rick and Morty.
Wait, before you do that. I finally watched season 3.
Yes.
They released it on Hulu.
Hulu, yes.
Dude, season 3, I think it's best
Have you
season.
made it to Pickle Rick yet?
Fuck yeah. I've watched it a couple times. I'm on like, because I'll put it on sometimes, like just if I'm doing shit. Dude, I'm probably like my second or third run through like season 3.
Yeah.
And I rewatched Pickle Rick again.
Dude, yeah, I was watching Pickle Rick last night. I don't know why I was.
Dude, it's so funny.
Which he goes, I would expect for therapy to be boring for you because there's no way to do it so wrong that you might die. It's like, yes. It's like, that's what really, like, that's what makes things an adventure. It's like, if there's a possibility you could do this so wrong that you could die. All right, that's an adventure.
That shit's getting interesting.
Again, there's a sliding scale there. But like, hey man, that's what makes hiking a 14er an adventure. Yep. Like, there is a way to do that so wrong that you can die.
Oh, for sure.
So, you know what I mean? Like, sitting on the couch watching TV, that's kind of hard to do so wrong. Again,
along the
timeline, but just in that moment, it's hard to do so wrong. So that's why, like, again, jiu-jitsu, man, you can do it so wrong
that you could die.
That you could, like, air quote, like, pretend die. Like, oh, that move did not work. I did that so wrong. Now I'm getting choked out. I just died. So.
Damn it.
Yes, but I think that's why.
Respawn.
Yeah, respawn, exactly. Slap hands and go again, man. But, yeah, I don't know why I thought fucking heard that.
The Rick and Morty quote.
That was it?
Oh, that was it?
That was it, man. Yeah. Just like, fucking therapy or work, whatever. It's not an adventure because there's no way to do it so wrong you can die. So, like, that's what fucking speaks to our souls is seeking those things out. Like, man, there's that little bit of element. Like, I could do this so wrong
that I could die.
I could die. So I better pay attention. I don't know, man. I mean, you know, it is those moments where you know that like death is possible. That's why I like climbing, right? Like, man, if you can't fucking put that out of your head, and it's like, but you feel alive. Like when when death is imminent, you know, like that's when you feel your most like we've talked about before, like, you know, when hitting a fucking drop or whatever on a mountain bike, or, you know, when you're skiing, and it's like when you know, like, okay, this could be fucking, things could go sideways, and if they go sideways, things could go bad. It's like, you tell me that, like, I mean, time moves differently. Like, it's a different fucking sensation.
Or even just like you were talking about when you were mountain biking a Telluride last week and you were climbing that hill up at 10,000 feet. You know, just getting your heart rate so jacked up to where like, man, is this fucker gonna explode? Like, I did that.
Never gonna slow down.
I did that at work the other day, man. I had to pull this pallet up the hill, man. It was like a fucking 800-pound pallet. I had one dude helping me. And we had to go way up this hill. It was up in Telluride, up in Mountain Village, you know. So we're at 9,500 feet, 9,200 feet. And we had to go a couple hundred yards. And this dude wasn't expecting what I didn't really tell him what I was about to do. He didn't know I was going to grab this thing and just fucking open up the throttle and just sprint this thing up the hill as hard as I could go. And like, dude, there's like getting your heart rate to the point to where like, dude, in my heart, like, when is my aorta going to fucking pop? Like, that's a fucking good feeling. Because I remember, I was like, how far we got to go? He's like, this doorway. And I didn't know exactly where he was talking. I was like, hey, man, here's the deal. I'm just going to get my legs going, and I'm not stopping until you tell me to stop. And the dude kind of looked at me. And that's exactly what I did, dude. I just grabbed a hold of that fucking pallet jack, and I just started moving my fucking legs like I was Bo Jackson headed towards the fucking touchdown, you know, towards the fucking goal line. And I didn't stop. And dude, when I finally stopped, I just threw the paper down and had to fucking sign it. I couldn't even talk right. But like, yeah, just getting your heart rate so jacked up. Or
just pushing it, man.
Pushing it, dude.
Yeah.
Something good about that shit.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So,
anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's good. So that's our challenge to everybody. Don't get killed, but maybe do something
that
with a
might
slight
possibly
possibility of it. Yeah.
Make you appreciate life a little bit
more. Exactly. And then the next time you're on the loading dock and something falls over, you won't throw a temper tantrum.
You won't throw a temper tantrum. That's right. Turn that volume down on the ridiculous shit. Man.
Exactly.
Change your perspective.
That's it. All right, man. I think that's a good note to leave on.
Yep.
So
sounds good.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess we'll talk to everybody next week.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and see you fuckers later.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
With a permanent friend, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy, I'll Molly do. Melancholy Daisy do, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped in your face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, at times two, no clue, but soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences for what you do. To me, demon, a devil of many levels, I keep on feeding for several